There's a little extra.
Sinna gana den bashid corla gana.
Sanje,
Chodam Soki Chonam La, Janju Batu Dani Jasuchi,
Dagi Chujen Gibe Chonam Ge, Jolam Ganjo Sanje Jopa Sho,
Sanje, Chodam Soki Chonam La, Janju Batu Dani Jasuchi, Dagi Chujen Gibe Chonam Ge, Jolam Ganjo Sanje Jopa Sho, Sanje, Chodam Soki Chonam La, Janju Batu Dani Jasuchi, Dagi Chujen Gibe Chonam Ge, Jolam Ganjo Sanje Jopa Sho.
Dayata,
Gati para samgati bodhi soha, dayata gati para samgati bodhi soha, dayata gati para samgati bodhi soha.
Sanje Tamje Tojalana Majiva Sanje Kumani was China Tobacha. The issue of Janjusan, Lapjana Sujan Nansula, now on a single symbol of Togo, to a traditional Manoa Hotel. Kosovo then Jamula Masonga Chips and Labjin was subjected to meaning in something check.
So we begin, as we normally do, by setting our motivation to do whatever we possibly can to attain the peerless state of enlightenment, and through perfecting all the trainings on the Bodhisattva path. And in order to perfect those trainings, we need to rely on, or to get an understanding based on a non-mistaken presentation. With this in mind, I am here this morning to listen to a brief explanation on the outlines of the great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, as composed by the great Lama Tsongkhapa. Ready, Gyatang Shipchu She Trukken, and the Zondrugi Parchin. Okay, go so yeah.
다 시바 준주게 파지 다 파지 두고 나네 파지 두고 나네 다 준주게 파지 다 준주게 파지 다 준주게 파지들 나잖아 안 준주죠 뭐고 대냠수 준주게 파지 대냠네 그래서 저거 냠수 냠바 주베 탑 준주게 잡도 예와 주베세 지다 차와 대다가 되도록 오저 삽장 거지.
So we begin the fourth of the six perfections, being the perfection of joyous perseverance. And joyous perseverance has 5 outlines. The first is the actual what is joyous perseverance, the nature of it. Secondly is the means by which we can begin or enter into the practice of joyous perseverance. Thirdly, the divisions of joyous perseverance. Fourthly, the practice of joyous perseverance. And fifth, the summary of all that has been said before. And so the first is the nature of, or definition of, joyous perseverance. It's that when you have focused on virtue, joyous effort is enthusiasm for it. Or another way of putting it, what is joyous perseverance? It is delight in virtue.
개회 자와 그래 진바 있네. 아니 지금 자와들 주바라는 또 해서 가지고 뭐다.
And so, to put that in context of the sixth, the joyous perfection or joyous perseverance, in the context of the six perfections, it is the engaging in any kind of virtue for the benefit of all sentient beings, in order to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, with a mind of joy or with a mind of delight.
다 먼저 체디 자와라 다 간제 저기 체디 자와라 다 간제 저 미카시 둘이 교보되는 요르마다 갈레시다 또 준주스는 개월 쪽에서 가지고 또 개월 쪽에서 가지고 준주다 둘이 이렇게 봐도
And so that one must make the distinction here at the outset between the concept of effort or perseverance that's mentioned here, and the kind of effort that we see so much of in pursuit of the actions of this life, for the sake of this life. And that we must kind of make that distinction that there's a difference between just effort and joyous perseverance. And the distinction is that in the context of the six perfections, we engage in effort through delight, through joy.
그렇다. 니바들 가서는 남들 lem바라 주베 탑니스 탑네. 아니 준주 점배 편연다. 아니 맞점배 님이 망도 상도다. 다 총망분이다. 양내 양도 상도다는다. 준주를 주야지. 그라 준주를 주야지 좀.
And so, to the second of the outlines is to look into the means by which we can enter into the practice of joyous perseverance. And here it's both by looking at the benefits of joyous perseverance and the disadvantages or faults of not engaging in virtuous action, and looking at it from many different points of view and reflecting on it frequently. The third outline is to look into the divisions of joyous perseverance. It has two subsections. A is that we look into the actual divisions, and secondly, to look in how to generate joyous perseverance. So the first of these, looking at the divisions of joyous perseverance, there are three. The first is armor-like joyous perseverance. Secondly is the joyous perseverance of gathering virtuous dharmas. And thirdly, the joyous perseverance of working for the benefit of sentient beings. The first of these, armor-like joyous perseverance, is defined as in the mind of a bodhisattva. So through their kind of preliminary thought of the mind of enlightenment, wearing this joyous perseverance like an ornament, the armor-like joyous perseverance like an ornament, they then make this pledge for 1 trillion sets of 3 immeasurably great eons, each comprised of days as long as 1,000 great eons. I shall not relinquish my practice of joyous effort, For the sake of a single living being, I would rejoice at remaining only as a hell being until I attain enlightenment. So it's emphasizing this fact, not just of putting in the effort, but joyously, willingly, and delightedly entering into difficult practices just for the benefit of sentient beings.
Nyave nala wata tendege kasa de keba boncha ma bo taya ba ne go june ba kashi toshi ngone ne yin samsa chi jorada tendege to kasa kashi toshi ngone ane chi kasa de toada de be kone wata tendege chi yin samsa ta je tuye ge ta kasa re tendege kasa nin to sigure ka chi go do da tendege 중앙 yin ba yin na ane semje ge de don다라 폐배치도 다 세티게 동해에서 다 잡아라다. 그러다 가서 된데그 고제 준주 주어봐 이나. 아니 세티라 된데 강에 제지예요 말 봐. 안에서 님도 된데 쳐보지 얘는 샤박가 시기 내주고 그러다.
So the armor like image refers to really a courageous attitude. And here, again, it's talking about for a tremendously long length of time, where each day is equivalent to eons of time. And then there are 30 such days equal to a month, and so on, 12 months equal to a year. So we're talking about a tremendously long length of time. And it's the pledge to eradicate even the suffering of one sentient being or establish one sentient being in happiness, and that they are willing to undergo the sufferings related to hell beings, hell realms, for as long as that takes. It doesn't matter. And so it's kind of like this really yes I can attitude of tremendous courage, and the kind of like saying I have the ability to be able to do this. So if one is wearing such an armor of joyous effort, then of course the problems of this life will be as of nothing, and they will be insignificant, and one won't have to engage or experience suffering on their account. And so we can see that when we fall short of being able to benefit others due to encountering some small problem, some small obstacle, it's due to a lack of this kind of joyous effort, this armor-like joyous effort. And so that if we had such courage as is described here, then we would, it doesn't matter what problems arise in life or what difficulties arise in the course of benefiting others, that we would willingly and delightedly take them on. There will be no discouragement at all for us. And of course too, if we can proceed with such courage and with such and practice with such courage, then the attainment of enlightenment, the state of a Buddha, will of course not take long at all. And because of the And so when you take into consideration the objective, meaning to be of benefit to countless sentient beings, and the method of in wearing or being adorned by such powerful courage, along with the length of time that one is inspired to work for, countless eons, that when you take all that into consideration, the kind of weight that is attached to each act of virtue has tremendous impact, tremendous significance, so that the two collections of method and wisdom will be quickly accumulated. And so it's important that this is not just something that is an attitude of mind that is kind of admired at a distance, but that it is something that we establish deep down in our heart center, and that is something that really inspires us in every day.
ngarazo samlo tanda ja chungchung onke kange tabe dile kange cha mindu samsa yorde ina ngoi de chayo marwa da chayo mare da de ni ma de de lo ja chbo ke de en so so che de kange kan de ju ma yin ina en ton le che tue chung lo ton le che tue cha de ge pa che on do ma so ha che 또 바자고도 맞아 튕겨를 줬대 준 거예요. 그래.
And so it's important that we see how important this armor-like joyous perseverance is. It's very, very important to the extent that we really establish this armor-like joyous perseverance is the extent to which we can really meet with the problems of this life with limitless joy, and such that they are not in any way an obstacle or problem for us. The difficulty for us is that we're operating under such a small-minded attitude, and that when any kind of problem arises for us, it kind of overwhelms us. We kind of think, oh, nobody has the problems that I have. But in fact, this is not the reality at all. That we need to expand our attitude of mind. And as we do, we find that we can actually not just accept more and more problems, more and more obstacles, but that they no longer actually are obstacles. And not only that, but they are transformed into actually a conducive condition for our practice. And so this is the consequence or the result of developing this armor-like perseverance.
파샤지와 장치수 선서 아니 난 대대게 그 준주고 가서 고체 준주게네 가서도 가서 남네 삐다고 기회게네 내가 캐마제 샤수 선서체자 어때 아니 뒤지 밥장도 제 뒤라서 아니 지금 어차피 자외라면 뭐 이게 맞지만 또 마셔야 또 봤어야는 뒤지 밥장도 제 아니 고체 준주게 또 어떤지 지에 뒤지 밥장도 전에 약고 이베래
And that, as again as quoting from the Guru Puja, where there is a verse which says something like for the sake of one sentient being, may I be willing to enter and abide in the hell realms, in the fires of hell, without any loss of my compassion. Oh, please bless me to develop such joyous perseverance. So it's again, it would be good to actually recite such verses again and again, and reflect on them in order to really develop our armor-like perseverance, and combine such a recitation or reflection with the descending nectar light visualization and meditation. So we visualize the Buddha in the space in front, and with the five-colored nectar lights, and with the white light predominant, initially purifying all the obstacles and obscurations that stand in the way of my really developing armor-like joyous perseverance. And then the golden light bestowing the capacity to really perfect the armor-like joyous perseverance in my attitude, in my practice, in my life. And to do this again and again and again would be very, very helpful, because you know that the purpose here too of really concentrating on cultivating such a powerful mind for the benefit of others is to counteract as well the two main obstacles to such development, that is our own self-cherishing and self-grasping attitudes.
제도 아니 초표에다도 당시부터 당당 미가 초 자상 표자다 람름 그도다 레도 조금 되는 샤샤도 왔다 또 조디나요 봐 가서 내가 시절 그다 가서 람름 곧 초표자는 그 람름 그 가서 칠때 다 람름 그 샤바죠 다 람름 어디 다 조금 되는 전다 초사에 제가 지금 소리요. 내가 들었다. 그래서 먼저 저거 라마이다 예매라다 같이 때네 아니 저거 초표잖아. 라마 칸도 주저서 맞지마 초표잖아. 아니 그런데 규장잖아. 아니 라마도 똑바 줄에 계셔도 왔다. 뭐 셔버이나. 내가 듣더라. 아니 다 셔바샤 그 동무다 라마를 그 듣고서도 라마 주변에 라마를 그 삼보당한테 아니 그 지글을 제 되었지 않아? 지금 거를 다다지 만에 파진 두다도 섹슈얼 카레스레스레스만 신유님도 요 말이야. 안데서 배 시그노브 슈죠. 안디게 도다 삼보당이 당게잖아. 뒤서 법자도 제잖아. 아니 지금 또 맞게 게 빠져도 시와체 같은 뒤서 법자도 전통이나 야부 슈죠. 그래 거든지. 아니 뒤주는 식대도 카드 도서 등이나 삼보당 지기나.
And so, with regard to the Guru Puja, that it's often the case, you know, where there is more emphasis placed on the making of offerings and so on in the Guru Puja. But when it comes to the recitation of the kind of prayer, which is a glance meditation on the lamp of the Lam Rim, or the graduated path, that's recited very quickly. It's just to get it over with. And that so this is a wrong emphasis, and that we should say that the whole point of the making offerings to the merit field, to our meditational deities, to all the different members of the merit field, is in order to, on the one hand, eradicate obstacles to, and on the other hand, to enable us to generate the realizations of the graduated path to enlightenment, the Lam Rim. And so, in fact, the main purpose of Guru Puja is for that. So when it comes to that point where we recite the verses, and there aren't many of them, there's not a lot, that we should really kind of imbue those verses in that recitation with as much concentration and meaning as we can by reflecting on what's being said in the verses, and also incorporating the descending nectar light meditation, so that we can request the blessing of each of the verses, the meaning in each of the verses, and also to dispel any obstacles and obscurations to actually realizing the full import of the verses. So that's how we slowly recite them, reflect as we go, and they go through all the 6 perfections as well, just very briefly. So it's a very, very important thing to do, rather than go quickly through that part so that we can get to the offering food that's divided out at the end. That's the wrong attitude.
다 니와 개와 추두고 준준에서 개와 추두고 준준다 개와 추두 다 가자 파진 주오사 양다 버 주버체베 치 대다라 저오서 다 개와 추 컨디션 바이네야 보다 같이 지금 거기서 주에 주주섭에 오다 주주섭 거라 개와 추 컨디션 바이다 파진 주 양다 버 주버체베 치 대다라 저오서
The second category or division of joyous perseverance is the joyous perseverance of gathering all virtuous dharmas. And really this is any virtue that we apply ourselves to, particularly when we apply ourselves to the perfect practice of the 6 perfections and the virtues related. This is included in this division of joyous perseverance.
아니 저 지금 수바들아 semje 되게 좋죠. 다 semje가 돼. 다 지다 저 잠깐 죽지에 수바다 이네 다 semje라 폐배 다뭐 균에 semje라 폐바 거지지 바이네. 아니 소소다 그거 남쪽라. 아니 주위에 죽도바 지에지 죽도바 수바지에지 얼마다 semje 되게 좋죠네. 되자와 죽지라 지다 리바 조에 좋죠.
The third division is the joyous perseverance of working for the benefit of sentient beings. And here it's described as working or engaging in actions of benefit for 11 different categories of sentient beings. But in brief, what it's saying is that indeed any sentient being and indeed any virtue that is done either directly or indirectly to benefit any sentient being is included here.
어느 다가니 시기 가서라다 배나 지금 강에 그리스네 타답 지구도네 아니 델라바베 아니 펜답지에지 펜바티 안 대규네 아니 타바산 탐지 기록 고발 아니 도트웨지 어떻게 지금 어떻게든 한지 저 뭔가 셋업 다 가리네 다 같이 탑유다 뒤줄을 미베토네 아니 강 툭툭에 아니 가리 그리지 마이네 펜도치 트웨지 로안 뭐 펜도치 트웨지.
So this might include any kind of like establishing anybody else with in mind, or assisting them with developing minds of renunciation, the correct view of emptiness, or bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, or any way directing them on the path, in providing any material support that they may need, a place to practice, means of getting to and fro, any problems that they encounter, that you're helping to eradicate those, to resolve those issues, to overcome those problems, and indeed to it's kind of the eradication of any kind of ignorance or misunderstanding that people have. Indeed, anything that is categorized as beneficial to another, and that of course is motivated by the desire to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And so, so of course, this very much includes the beneficial actions of both avoiding any mental affliction ourselves, and also helping others to avoid entering into actions motivated by mental affliction. And of course, this is so important. It's key, as always, that to avoid for ourselves, entering into any kind of, criticism or damning of somebody else because they didn't fulfill some desire of ours. This happens so easily. This is, of course, absolutely never allowed, or never a good thing to do, and not let alone for a so-called Mahayana practitioner, but not even for a practitioner of the individual liberation vehicle. And so we must understand that a lot of criticism is based on just misunderstanding. It was a kind of misunderstanding at the beginning. Most of the times it's like that. So it would be really very, very a very great loss if that has resulted in a harmful or spiteful action. And so we have to be very, very careful like that to allow for understanding to take place. And so, and it's also to kind of really emphasize that any harm that may arise for us, that we transform that and take that on and respond with virtue as much a benefit. And of course, responding to harm with benefit from our side is, of course, also included in working for the benefit of sentient beings. As the second of the subsections here was how we generate joyous perseverance. And as here, as was explained previously, in dependence on joyous perseverance, we are able to generate all of the positive virtues of the two collections. We are able to produce those, we are able to maintain and to increase those virtues. And so in terms of that sort of practice, joyous perseverance is extremely important. And so then in details in relation to how to generate joyous perseverance, there are 4 points here. The first is the abandoning of the inconducive conditions that act as obstacles to joyous perseverance. Secondly is the accumulation of the collection of conducive conditions that support joyous perseverance. And then thirdly, on the basis of those two, A and B, is how we become intent on practicing joyous perseverance. And fourthly, and then how joyous perseverance allows us to make our body and mind serviceable. The first of these, the abandoning or overcoming inconducive conditions that act as obstacles to joyous perseverance, there are 2 points. And looking at the conditions, or recognizing the incompatible conditions to joyous perseverance, and then showing the means by which they can be overcome or abandoned. And so in here, the inconducive or incompatible conditions are referred to the 3 different kinds of laziness that act as obstacles to the cultivation of joyous perseverance. Those lazinesses being the laziness of procrastination, the laziness of discouragement, and the laziness of being attached to negative or ignoble activities. And so that third one of being attached to a negative or ignoble activities is really referring to anybody who's dominated by working for food, clothing, reputation, or in brief, who is, or business indeed, is just really concentrating and considering to be all important just the happiness of this life. And so that they are totally dominated by working for just the happiness of this life, and therefore ignoring future lives and the benefit thereof. And so this is an attachment, and they're deceived into this kind of attachment. It's often the kind of person who people refer to as, oh, they're very hard working. Look at them working so hard, they're able to make a lot of money. So it's considered as something beneficial in the one life theory idea. But in fact, in spiritual terms, this is a form of laziness. And it's actually considered as a laziness because, of course, it is a major obstacle to the attainment of liberation or the omniscient state of enlightenment.
둔두게 아니 거란족에 배투주 레어데 아니 저 부군야당다 창소당다 시분 예바도 둔두 코라솔에 배 시분 남겨도 같은데 그치다 아니 소소 칼라체에 아니 저거 두수민 자올라 칼라 근데스 다고 잡고 둔두 배 가시 둔두 가시 예바 시분들도 나쁘야 붙잡투에 아니 소소 부고 동에 당 맞다 체디게 되다 거 저기 미케주게 되면 둔두가 제토에 치르도 다 밀 믹스 캐주스 가서 땡기 디지 툭투에 있어 봐. 다디 디 배주 담아도나 미 남주 배주 담아도 맞춰 봐.
So the yes, this attached to ignoble activities is summarized in the through really being attached to the affairs of this life and what happens just in this life, and that this is not in any way fulfilling the potential of having a precious human rebirth of leisure and endowment, and that just to concentrate on eating and drinking and looking after your offspring is no more than animals are capable of and do. And indeed, many species of animals are very expert at being able to search out sustenance and food at the right time and in the right place and move around in order to be able to do that. So animals are pretty good at this. So human beings should be capable of more. And what are the particular advantages of being human? It's the ability to establish permanent happiness in the future. And so this is the important distinction of human intelligence. And if one is not using one's human intelligence for that means, then one is not really fully qualified as a human being. And so that in order to counteract this attachment, we look into the faults of the cyclic existence, and of course the meditation on death, that death is definite, the time of death is indefinite, and that only our Dharma will be of benefit to us at the time of death. And to reflect on these kinds of meditations is a way of reducing that investment or attachment that we have to the affairs of this life, and then allows us to make some room for a spiritual reflection. Too late, yeah. And is deceased? Right, deceased.
Deceased.
Yes. So to really look around us, to the kind of people that we know, that we associate with, that we hear about as well, and just observe, how many people die prior to being able to accomplish what they had set out to accomplish. That this worldly ambitions are not fulfilled by the time they die, and that at that point, again, I was saying, like in the Tibetan tradition, is referred to as a senden. It's like you're already dead. It's like saying, such and such deceased. That's what you will become. That's all afterwards. Such a name, deceased, and so you're finished. It's over with. Your time has finished. And so these activities that you have spent all your time and effort on are left on incomplete, but you're no longer have any capacity to do anything about it because you are so and so deceased.
다 치차소나 다 소소 거에 대화를 밑에만 동해래 아니 거에 대화를 가르 연구도 선 소소 개화 쪽도는 연구도 와 디만 연구도 와 그러 다 소소 개화다 미게 왔니데 나라서 르기 디만이 디마서 샤도 내시 용티기로 왔다 용티기로 셔다 개개 무 연구 말에 강바 연구 말에 모자 연구 말에 가 연구 말 다 디체도 사베 디바 야는 딜라테는 사베 개화 다 디니도 소소 르드 디만이 용티기도 와
And so, this is the difficulty. What a pity that a lifespan is not definite. If it was, then at least we could make some sort of strategic plan, to get so much done by that certain time. But of course, the time of death is not certain. There is absolutely no guarantee of a particular time of death. And that, we must really then focus the mind on what's really important at the time of death. This is only our Dharma will be of benefit to us. That's all that will count. And as it says in the texts, that both your virtue and non-virtue will follow you like a shadow after that death point. And so you have to really see that the house that you spend so much time paying off, the car or cars that you have, you cannot take with you. They are useless to you. Nothing like that. No possession will be of help to you at all. It's only the virtue and indeed the obscurations that are on your mind stream that will pass on with you after death.
동네 망고 요한데데 개왕가만 남라 소소 미게 와사네 요한데도 다야 뭐 튕게다 즉 자티버 요한데데 소소 깨르 주원데 유여바이나 그 되고지 미용고도 와 디기 요한데도 와 디기 요한데도 다 치마 패가 되나 시대 다 개왕가만 소소 유사바다 다다 좀 모자다 康바다 오드네 요그래 디다다 가르핑도 가야 편도 오도 와 다 세딜에 제와때 다가라 세디 내가를 펜스 터너 터버리면도 sempre todo mundo.
And so when we see the kind of mind and body that we have now, the sufferings that we undergo, the happinesses that we experience, these are based on the karmas, the virtues and non-virtuous causes that we have accumulated in previous lives. So we are at the point of experiencing the fruition or the results of those causes now. And so this is how we carry on the virtue and non-virtue with us from life to life. And that what we experience in this life is basically dependent upon what has been accumulated in previous lives. So if we look at the focus or emphasis of our activities in this life, if it has been to just establish our properties, our cars, our possessions, and since we can't take them with us, they will also be of absolutely no benefit to us in terms of experiencing happiness in future lives. So it's important that we think, if it's only for the benefit of this life that we establish those things, what are the consequences of that in the future for us?
다 단다 여바 되게 돼. 랑게 쳐주게 튕겨를 배 배나 강바 유면 강배 나서 냠내 야고체. 그봐. 변조 여바 이네 랑게 쳐주게 튕겨를 배주 땅도 봐 이나. 나고 변도 좀 되게 도와.
And of course, that to be able to use what we have wisely is the way to go. And that the house that we have, use it for the benefit of others. Use it to engage in spiritual practice. The money that we have accumulated, use it wisely to be of benefit to others, to continue with our spiritual practice. This is perfectly feasible.
다니서 소소 칼라사바 임바이네 칼라사바 임바이나 진짜 탐정도 산제 고마두게 대체도 유도 아니 니바젠스 고도 에디즈 칼라사바 대 최차대 정도도.
And so we can even use every instance of eating, like the food that we eat, by prefacing that with the bodhicitta motivation, that I'm taking this food in order to provide energy for my body, in order to put that body towards working for virtue for others, benefiting others for the benefit, in order to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
얘네 고노데데 켜봐이네 야 저기 카도 냠래 맞잖아 야 배말이고 고노데데 켜봤네 신 아니 지금 술로 녀바이네다 편바이네다 근데 켜봐이네 사파 캐베 편도 제지 되면도 야 지금 에너지 중 아니 콘도 사이에 롱라에 밀기디사지 되네 지금 치바이나 아니 좋게 좀 와서.
So it's so important that we back up that kind of motivation with actual practice, with actual action, and that we really, walk the walk. That means that in our subsequent actions, that we both accept any harm that's coming to us. We use that the energy that the food has given us to be able to practice in that way, to accept harm and to respond to harm with benefit towards others. It would be quite pointless just to use the energy of the food to criticize others, to feed our anger and bitterness and so on. So we have to be very careful that even though we have a good motivation when eating, and that is followed up in our subsequent action.
대대에서 뒤준도다 랑가 룽아 예수로 동예 디게 좀 주세요. 뒤준도는 잘했잖아. 아니 지금 대시에 바유에도 대디게 좀 버려도.
So important that continuously we are analyzing the actions of body, speech and mind, and that really analyzing through maintaining mindfulness and alertness in relation to what's going on with my body, speech and mind.
아니 편바 주베디 개치주르다 당보 내 당보를 편바 주베래 당보 너무 많이 개치주르래. 나도 편바 개제 시우시에 안테 너바들 선호마다한테는 반대 좀 보이고도 와. 당보 편바 주베래 너무 맞지 너무 맞게 맞지 너무 맞게 했다는 아니 다 편바 좀 두야지. 좋아.
At beginning, for beginners, it's so important for us to kind of really emphasize non-harming at the outset. Even though it sounds lovely to benefit others and so on, but it's pointless if we are not able to benefit, but then we're also engaging in harm. So at the outset for us, yes, above all, no harming. When the opportunity is there, benefit. So this should be our focus, our emphasis.
그래. 되는 상계 좀 되게 아니 지금 마 랍자도 마 뒤바이나 중나 팬토스. 팬토도 보면 내마게 해서지. 이만 레고도 와.
And so as the Buddha has put it, if the opportunity is there to benefit, benefit. If there is no opportunity to benefit, at least don't engage in any harm.
근데 이마자 팬토스인데 대과 준비 취업 차죠. 팬토도 보면 내마게 생긴데 녀랑 취업 차들이요.
And so in that sense, in that context, benefit in that context refers to the kind of Mahayana prerogative. whereas to avoid any harm refers to the individual liberation vehicle prerogative.
다 되네 맞아. 나라도 대과체 뭐 이라고. 심지 탐제 산책 그만 두게 있나. 아니 팬데 토마도 디가데 뇌디 게데와 이나 다 대과체 뭐 저말 대과체 저 말다 가요 말와.
And so we have to be careful of posing as the great Mahayana practitioner and having this motivation to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, but then in actuality not being able to not only benefit anybody else, but engaging in harmful actions towards others. So in that way we neither qualify as Mahayana or individual liberation vehicle practitioners, and in fact we become nothing. And it's, of course, the most important thing is to consider that sort of outcome as symptomatic of holding this life to be so important. And so that means, yes, that you automatically, therefore, disqualify yourself as not only a Mahayana practitioner, but as any kind of spiritual practitioner at all, because you are just concerned with holding the stuff of this life as so important. And so that so much harm of others, so much criticism, backbiting of others results from considering this life to be so important. So these attitudes arise from thinking, I don't like that, I don't like what that person is saying, I don't like what they're doing. This does not accord with what I want or what I desire. And of course, once you start thinking like that, you're completely involved in what are known as the 8 worldly concerns. And so the narrow-minded aim of the 8 worldly concerns is that if I get what I want in this life, I'm happy. If I don't get what I want in this life, I'm unhappy. And so this is kind of the 8 worldly concerns idea, a concept. And so anybody who strives towards liberation or the omniscient state of enlightenment must not fall under the influence of this attitude. If we are under the influence of the 8 worldly concerns, then there is no prospect of spiritual progress or any kind of happiness. So, because we are in cyclic existence, and therefore it goes without saying, if one is living one's life according to the 8 worldly concerns, you are going to be encountering problems and difficulties and frustrations on a constant basis, because that's the nature of cyclic existence. So it really requires some sort of clear perception on our part, using our human intelligence, to understand that on the basis of being born in cyclic existence, that we are very much under the influence of our karmic perception in how we interact with other sentient beings. On the basis of karma, there'll be a sort of a closeness feeling for some, a distance from others, and so on. But to understand that this is the case is so important. When we're under the influence of the 8 worldly concerns, these kind of relationships become a kind of a game. Sort of we are just part of a game, and we are kind of part of a sort of a profound deception that we are playing on ourselves. So it's very, very important that we avoid any such self-deception in that sense, and to understand that we must, through recognizing what the reality of cyclic existence is, by recognizing what suffering really is, we can pool our resources and really use our intelligence to really further our path towards liberation and towards the omniscient state of enlightenment, and by really recognizing the suffering in all other sentient beings like ourselves, and that we feed and cultivate our own compassion. And so in this way we are taking kind of the perceptive view of what's happening to us, and the reality of what's happening to us, and making the most out of it.
Today, but I'm going to get you the Marazo, then Joe will do then you but the coach what you get about one. The Joe will do then you the coach what you get.
And so, mostly, what we are recognizing is the potential of our precious human rebirth of leisures and endowments, and making it most meaningful.
Dende jela kokho dene ta dende ta dundule niwachi botre mabudwa dundule mabushe ko ta setare lamruge na soane jere setare mozo mida dunduge kebache dule lebares ta mingune jere do remado 아니 문에 개발체게 아니 다 고급질 레버와 다 고급도 먼저 배주 땅도 가지고 오도와 뒤 맞아나다 다들 미여를 미 남주래 아니 남시나 아니 딜레기 페바도 저저도 시도래 아니 그다 하러다 아니 딜가래 아니 지금 미 남주 여발 때네 남주 배주 로바다네 디바 먹을사 아니 디다 아니 때도 코알네 때도 냥송 그 동네 녀야지 때네 지금 친다나다 가야 편 도마서 가야 편 도마서 다 다른데 리포트 팀네 지나다 레라보다 말대 있는 리포트 팀전에 미룰 레바도 고쳐봤지 산재기 때마다 제바도 고쳐봤지 아니 지금 다리 세들아 미룰 레바티 아니 미다 아니 추서 둔두고 야와체 두바지 예체 모르다 사에 통해 대사사서 아니 지금 착바지에서 둔두래 지요 아니 자그리 야는 둔두래 두가 참부지에는 둔두래 두가 이게 개바스케도
So if we aren't concentrating on really making the most of our precious human rebirth, then we really are kind of not sort of like doing enough to distinguish ourselves from animals, from other animals. And that means that we are concentrating just on the stuff of this life, deceiving ourselves by being clinging to and attached to accomplishments that are related just to this life. And so it's important to do that, really, because as the graduated path teachings say, now that you have a precious human life, this is the time to really distinguish yourself from other animals. And what is it that does that? Is the human intelligence. Because after all, if we're just looking for food for ourselves, for a place to stay, to look after our young, even the sense of just camaraderie, these are all evident as priorities for animals. And in many ways, animals can actually provide for themselves in this regard better and more conveniently than human beings. So we cannot leave our lives reduced to the kind of same aspirations and ambitions as an animal. That we have to see, what more can I do, having attained this precious human life. And so, as it says in the Lam Rim, we need to find our way to really distinguish ourselves, and that means through our intelligence, and to really see, use my intelligence to see, okay, how I must use my intelligence to concentrate on what is most important, making the most of this opportunity of leisure and endowment to not only avoid the lower realm existence, but try to avoid encyclic existence altogether. Even though this is not easy, of course, as beginners, but we must do something to adjust our thinking, adjust our attitude, and to kind of ensure and that we make the most of our precious human rebirth and avoid sort of animalistic tendencies of just concentrating on the basic necessities of life.
Today, in inza, ngarazo responsible sido. What a catchable. Was me in inza, car responsible. Not nangba in inza, car responsible. Not take my chamber in inza, car responsible. What the catchable one?
And so it's important to reflect on the sense of responsibility we have, not just as a human being, but that as the outset, then as a Buddhist, and then finally as a Mahayanist, a practitioner. What are the responsibilities that go with that?
What do you get about it? That demand on Mana, the Tony, and Tawachabo in Bayanza, and never the Pentok. Jugua. And Namba in Bayanza, subject Nesemache, take a Nabi Shimarwa. Sure, like to do a subject of Nesemichimas, Namba Shimata the Dua.
And so it's so important to do this kind of reflection, so we can see then that being a Mahayanist will be of definite benefit. Being a Buddhist will guarantee that we will, of course, not harm any other sentient beings, as that is a fundamental kind of premise of being Buddhist.
Harm to the Java Shueta, Jim and the Kitchen Marwa. 6-7 hammer, Namju to that man hammer, Tim Makiba Sosuna. Gaza Paribo, the Makiba Sosuna, harm water.
And so, we must also extend the kind of concept of harm towards others, not just that we actually strike them or punch them, and that we can, of course, harm a great deal with the words that we use as well, and indeed even with our attitude towards others. So we must consider that if we in any way create unhappiness in another, that is harm. So it's so important to kind of like really be absolutely practical in our practice. It's all very well to be talking about liberation and the omniscient state of enlightenment, but if in reality we're not applying any of that, but engaging in sort of harmful activities like this, then it's sort of like very much pointless, isn't it? And so, yes, we want to engage in spiritual practice. Our aim is to engage in spiritual practice, but of course we have our faults, don't we? We do have our faults. That's why we're practicing. But if it's only that we are criticizing others and seeing the faults in them and not admitting to the faults in ourselves, then there's no benefit in that whatsoever. So we need to be careful in that regard.
우리가 그저번에 지금 가서 ben에 기부 중요히 제가 이나는 아니 지금 타바 가서 하다 미 공부도 말라 아니 지금 봐도 저게 아니 CD 디길 찾대 다 저거 와다 찾대 다가는 신경질 가서도 아니 배나 탑에 제바이나다 세디디기 맞아요냐 오늘 하다 미디기를 차대에 그러다 탐제 겸바 대바 제바이나냐 라니 찍고 시도 되네기 디기를 차대에 다 디가 자원견 시설 차기로 왔다 이제 다 숙체 중지도 열받다 그러다 이제 독수에다 세디를 차대거든 독수에 잡으러 왔다 되게 아니 가서도 기본 숨객을 남기 계획지기도 와.
So when we look at this category of laziness, of being attached to ignoble activities, we have explained it here in terms of its most insidious fault related to just the affairs of this life. And so if we put it into the context of the three capacities of being, when we look at the objective of the smaller capacity being to attain a positive rebirth as a human being or as a celestial being. Therefore, the objective is to remove all the obstacles to the actual attainment of that goal. And within those obstacles then is this laziness of being attached to ignoble activities. So that's in relation to the being of a smaller capacity. For the being of medium capacity, since their objective is to attain liberation from cyclic existence altogether, so they are looking at the ignoble activities related to just the motivation to attain rebirth as a human being or as a celestial being. So they're seeing that as limited and as somewhere faulty, certainly as an obstacle to attaining liberation from cyclic existence altogether. And so thereafter the being of greater capacity is seeing the ignoble activity element in just wishing for it, liberation for oneself alone, and in so to attain their goal of enlightenment, they need to eradicate those obscurations, those negativities.
뭐다 개발 연구도와 다 말아도 대과 친구인 아니 세디 디기 개체 못지는 차고 이나다 다 계다시 장다 문제잖아 타바 된된 얘기인데 그게 다 세디 디기도 다 타바 된된 얘기인데 먼저 하다미 디기도 맞아왔잖아 다 세디 디기도 자기요 맞다 그러다 타바 된된 얘기 저러 다 우다 도다지 봐이나 타바 된된 얘기 다 주마매 타바 된된 얘기 다 개와치만 그냥 뭐들 하다미 되는 얘기겠다. 뒤 바제라도 괜히 가르치기도서나 뒤치기도와 세디 개체부터는 제대로도 다 타발라 뭐들 하다미 개체부터는 탐제 개발라 아니 뒤 가사대 라니 찍고 싶은 되니글로 개체부터는 용한테기도 와 되기도 와 용한테기도 오다 되기도 다 되려서다 나라도 탐제 개발 되는 얘기는 지금 다 세디를 되게 개체부터도 다 괜찮으면 상고도 하다. 뭐잖아. 다 알아서 오늘 저 대바치 뭐 이 되게 여바이나. 되게 여바이나. 당문에 되게 여바이나 다 차되기도 하.
So it's we have to understand just how crazy and incompatible it is to be thinking that one is a Mahayanist practitioner, but to remain still attached to the things of this life. And you can see how this is completely incompatible, because even for somebody who's wanting to attain liberation from cyclic existence, they must completely dispel any attachment to this life, of course. But even for somebody who's the smaller capacity objective of the attainment of a precious human rebirth, or a celestial being rebirth, they must completely reduce and eradicate just the attachment to the affairs of this life. So it's kind of like if we're saying on the one hand that yes, I'm involved in the Mahayana tradition, I'm engaged in Mahayana practice, but still I consider the affairs of this life to be so important, I'm very much attached to the stuff of this life. There's something quite weird, quite strange about that, and of course it's completely incompatible.
다들 이거 먼저 같이를 말로 하자. 칸 나라로 사람도 아직 개체 못해도 와. 칸 나라로 아니 람을 들을 자제는 소소 사바드 가발레기도. 몰럼 다 대바치 뭐 몰럼 자기도 다이나 소소가 샘비 내다데 내다 그대실 내듯이야. 남주긴 지금 좌당, 도당, 사당, 통당게 하는 삼로가 내세대 컨디션도 와, 컨디션도 이 가서 리서치 소리에 개체버려도 와.
So therefore, again, I reiterate that it's so important for us not to look outwards at others, but to look inwards, to do an internal research into where do I sit in relation to the graduated path teachings, to look into the mirror of the graduated path teachings, and to really see where I actually am, at what stage am I at, what kind of being am I, and that to think that yes, okay, I can pray and make my aspirational prayers that are full of the ideal of the bodhicitta and bodhisattva ideal and the attainment of enlightenment and so on, the Mahayana kind of flavor. But in reality, when I do my internal research, where do I stand actually? And of course, whatever the results of one's research are, and that we are determined to improve on and what we find.
pena debe sangye tige kanga nan dada sangye shiba kanga rangi ane nyomo tuksum tutab cheche ne ane tabata tabje kiba tubuduwa sangye kuma tubuduwa ane shenge chik kaso da chusu nyamba da yakbo meba yine tige de kar rangi nyomo tutab jambada niji ane gyura pechu tangtuba chunga ina nyomo ke gyura meje jambada niji kebe gyura pechu tangtuba ina rangi tabata tabje kiba tubi kien chigiduwa 고에 차대도 다디 녀몬 주베 깨져버려 하나 경험하게도
So that you really have to understand as well that this improvement and this self-development is our own affair. It doesn't actually depend on what others are doing or not doing. It really is up to ourselves. We look at the Buddhas of the past. They attained the state of enlightenment by eradicating their own mental afflictions, by establishing their own virtue, and that in their practice, in viewing others, they used all of their perceptions of others to improve their own love, improve their own compassion, and in this way they progressed on the path. So from our point of view, to be able to do the same in relation to others, to only use what we observe, what we perceive, to feed our own love, our own compassion, and avoid at all costs it feeding our own mental affliction, because that's only ever a fault for us. That's so important.
아니 내가 가서 자원gen식을 내려오지. 아니 저기 길루벨 내려. 길루벨 내려서 다 반자 지금 가서라다 지금 가서라다 지금 제일 제초로 봐. 지대점이 샤야 줘라 왔다. 다 지금 제일 제초 소소를 왔다. 최 제대 개체물이 이네야 다다. 가서라다 다다디 지금 가서라다 지금 두지 망아데 지금 세디 아니 자샤다 아니 다 지금 최냐면 제 개체부터 하는 거다 제일 제조고 제일 걸리 파베자자 샤야 줘 봐. 다티 뭐 해봐잖아. 왔다 다다는 맞지 봐이나 왔다 되게 좋아 지금 다 치워미다 봐도 좀 삼었다네. 아니 이 나라 자원 예식을 해도 나라 숙청부 열 봐. 나라 숙청부 열 다들 파베자자잖아. 그 다다 소설 나버려. 마음바 소설 나봐 매바 인자 아니 다다도 좀 개체 뭐 입지 했지.
So the another category of laziness is the laziness of procrastination, and so this is when we are constantly putting off what we are supposed to do until later. We go, oh yes, I'll get onto that later. When I have time, I'll do this, or when this happens, I'll do that. And this is a very dangerous habit, and that we are constantly delaying and putting off what we are supposed to be doing, and it will be too late when the time comes. So it's very important to reflect on impermanence as an antidote to this attitude of mind, because it is something which is very prevalent in our thinking, and that we're always delaying our spiritual practice because we feel we have more important things to do in the meantime. And that's very, very important to understand that now is the time. Now it's in my hands, the control is in my hands to engage in proper spiritual practice. In the future, even in this life, I cannot say that it will be in my hands. So we have to understand it's important to begin and do now.
먼저 베베 카베시그레 마오발라 즉 떼긴 스피릿 녀바 떼긴에서는 가고 말했어. 마오발라 세긴라면 쉐고 말했어. 마오발라 캐나라 녀바 떼긴이스. 가고 말했어. 좋아테스기 가요. 마오발라 캐나 세긴라면 쉐고 말했어. 가이는 용식이 와. 단단히 내가 잔대로 봐.
So that again, I said there's a Tibetan saying where it says, somebody, if you're saying that you were going to give me a present in the future, I don't like that.
말에 가서 말에 가시기 캐나리 녀바떼기 라바이나 녀바떼기 라바이나 지 녀바떼기는 캐나 가고 말했어. 가고 말했어. 녀바떼나 수나 가기로 왔다지다. 녀바떼기 라바이나 마오바리 녀바떼기 라나 가고 말했어. 가서 마오바 다이나 용서 좋아했으기로 와. 녀바라 말아 하고 말와. 마오바를 세게 라나 쉐고 말했어. 좋아했으기로 왔어.
So if you hear that somebody is giving you a present, there's no need to be joyous about that, because whether that happens or not in the future, one can't say. There's many a slip twixt cup and lip, as they say, that you don't know whether it's actually going to be actually fulfilled. And in the same light, if someone says if you hear that somebody's going to kill you, there's no need to be afraid, because by the time it actually comes, things might have changed. So it's really saying the future is uncertain, and the future is not something that we can say talk about with any kind of certainty. It's only now that we have control over.
아니 최근에 저도 신고열다 제나 제투에 튕겨 떠서 열에 다 되네 마음 발라 소소 수고대 되네 대비 하고 말까 근데 마시바 있네 수고대 되셔 하고요 말이 아니 삼로대 되게 약고 좀 맞아 미다 들어가서 들어 미스작질로 미축 되게 망고도 당담에게 망고도 소소 당담에게 잘 내가 열봐 아니 지금 수고에 내다서 아니 튕겨 되게 근데 잘 하고 말아 단다 튕겨 되게 여봐도 배주 땅도 봐이나
So now, at this point, when we still have, a healthy body, that we have, to some extent, a fully functioning mind, and that we have some knowledge of the Dharma, these are conducive conditions, and so we should recognize that and engage in effort now. In the future, we cannot say that we will have those kinds of conditions, even if we don't die. There's a great deal of dementia, very prevalent in societies at this time. So even if we have a fit body, our mind is incapable of turning towards virtue in that kind of scenario. And so we have to be very wary of putting things off, and to make sure that we make the most of the conditions that we have now. And so we have to understand too the reality. If we're constantly putting things off until later, we know that the body deteriorates as we age. This is nature. You know, that from birth, of course, the body grows to a certain point, but then it reaches that sort of pinnacle and then it deteriorates again. So we know that this is the future for us. That's something very definite. And that we won't be able to, put it into the service of Dharma if it's something that's really deteriorated. And so too, we don't want to be in a situation where we meet with these kinds of obstacles, both physical and mental, that really prevent us from engaging in spiritual practice. And then to be just left with the knowledge that, in the past I had the opportunity. I had all I needed to engage in spiritual practice, but I failed to take that opportunity. And now it's too late. We don't want to have that sense of despair, of really not having taken the opportunity when we had it. And so therefore we need to say, reassert for ourselves that from now I must engage in my spiritual practice. And what is spiritual practice? It is again none other than using all of what we have to prevent our body, speech and mind from being influenced by mental affliction. So that means that we are opposing the mental afflictions, particularly by reducing the influence of our own self-cherishing and self-grasping attitude. And in reducing our own self-cherishing, we are at the same time increasing our capacity for cherishing others as much as possible, seeing the good qualities in that, and simultaneously developing a kind of a wisdom that will oppose the self-grasping self, the entity of that self, to really reduce the kind of extent to which we believe in the inherent existence of such a self. And so that reducing the level of self-cherishing and increasing the level of cherishing others. And in this way we are increasing the importance with which we hold others more and more and more. And who are these other sentient beings? They are the ones right next to us. And then expanding out into all sentient beings. And so it's not something that we kind of like engage in mental affliction with those who are next to us and have this sort of like very distant concept of all sentient beings out there in the distance. It's not. It's those who are right next to us, those who we meet on a day-to-day basis. And so that this being able to accumulate virtue and happiness and dependence upon the countless sentient beings, it begins with using the base of those beings who are next to us. This is our training ground, using the beings who we are in contact with on a day-to-day basis.
어때죠? 그랬다. 가서도 가려 가서 자원에 시게 내로 아니 가서도 길루베 내로 다 길루베 내로서 다 그제 직가소라 직가소라다 제일 그자자되다 다 이제가 무슨 요즘은 무조 돌아주고 가서 먼저 다다 소소 시제를 더 마음 받을 시제들을 소소 유명하고요 말이야. 다다 소소 시제들도 와.
So in relation to this reducing the laziness of being attached to ignoble activities, reducing the laziness of procrastination, we have to recognize that this is not the time to indulge in these kinds of laziness. This is the season for spiritual practice, for the accumulation of virtue, for virtuous causes. This is what I'm responsible for now, and to really reassert our focus in that way.
출라 사브르 커바이네 양 제일 지금 되게 쭉 돌아왔던 거 도와 다야 아치 가르쳐 용 거서나 어다 내 용거 말했어 어다 야보다 싫어해 최초도 야보 싫어해 되네 당에 주고 말다 말 롤려서 다 이거 말했어 나는 소소 그때 가서는 익스큐스 거다 믹스 당샤에 줘봐 뭐다 어때 맞지나 다 되네 맞아 다 같이는 지금 가서는 나라서 심지어 탐정기로 산지가 릭스인데 줘야 다도 전전을 쓰다 가서다 장부샤장 봉화다 쓰게 쓰면 돼. 왔다 가자. 대신 가서 쓰고 요와라. 대자 저게 세 똑게나. 자도 더가 아사 라면 톱스 같이 가서 다 장보다 샤장 봉화라서 왔다 가자. 무슨 그리 되네. 전주게 아니 저게 똑게나 아니 가서다 장주 쓰고 톱 가버 돼. 톱 그리 했을지. 아니 왔다 코나 쪽에 다 콘솔에 톱에 요바 송고 요도 아니 마다도 미리게 돼요래. 지난해 아니 산재고 추고 내서 또 신기요래. 어디 녀 좀바치 제바이나 같이 이렇게 두고 말했어. 딱 소소 가서 그래. 소소 뭐 쳐봤지 돼. 뭐 쳐봤지 돼. 뭐다 개쳐버려도 하고 들어요.
And so those are the first two types of laziness. Then a third type of laziness refers to kind of thinking as, yes, okay, I agree. It's very important to concentrate on practicing now to attain such a lofty goal of enlightenment, but I can't do it. It's this sort of putting oneself down of thinking, oh no, not for me. I can't possibly do that. So this is the laziness of self-contempt or discouragement. And so it's kind of thinking also, making kind of an excuse for oneself, or making an exception for oneself. You say, oh yeah, that's all very well, but I can't, I'm not capable, poor me. And so this is a type of laziness. And that the antidote to that is to really understand that you have Buddha nature. And as it says in the Bodhisattva's way of life, it says all sentient beings have Buddha nature. And so even if a fly or an insect, though difficult, is capable of attaining the state of enlightenment because of that, and then why not you, born as a human being, with the human attributes, with knowing, we're having the leisures and endowments and knowing a certain amount of Dharma. Why not? Why not you? You can also surely attain the state of enlightenment. So you have to kind of really encourage and inspire oneself to be able to say, yes, yes we can, yes I can.
펜다 펜바 가리용 너바 가리면 대 뭐신거 열봐 뭐신거 열. 다 장주 줘봐만 장주 그 쓴거 줘봐 냠내데 마당와 이나 아니 다게 장주 찜이도 내 장주 같이 토바 지금 말해 톱투가 왔어. 그래서 가제 저 다 제마제라 라려버려 마도 냠네 제마제라 라려버려 장주스베 줘봐도 켈레네 냠술랭가 왜이나 얘 같이 더 말했어 와다 가제 집에도 좋을 가제 와다도 소원에 진짜 다 가제 저 소소소 님도 깨주네 님도 깨지네 와다 배주지 다가 이제 저기 장주 체들라 마타바 이네 다다 배주 제바 이나 깨와 치마 딜레 작수 거와 디 치마 딜레 작수 거와 다다 별로 다다게 연구 말을 려다와 이네 아니 깨와 치마 배절 려당 살아다 디배 방법으로 와 다다 지금 알리 시고지 처음 맞아 안에 배준지 지금 이마 이나 아니 다다디 배준 제발 때는 깨와 치마 딜레 또 작아 요거 와 디 치마 딜레 작수 거 야도 좀 거와
And so that to also say, look at you of the lineage, as Bodhisattva, as Shantideva says, you of the lineage, you of a Buddha lineage. So say yes, so you as a human being, and that you as of the human lineage, that you can engage in this kind of practice in order to really accomplish what is being laid out for the Bodhisattva activities. It's not a question of capacity, it's a question of whether you engage in practice or not. This is what determines whether you attain the Bodhisattva practices or not. So this is important to have courage with regard to your effort, and to kind of make the effort now in this life. And if you have accustomed to doing so, then in a future life you will also have that habit of making joyous perseverance in your practice in future lives, and you will improve more and more and more. Whereas if you develop the habit of giving up, of falling short, of always thinking, oh, it's too much for me, that's the habit that will come to the fore in future lives as well, and you will find that as a major obstacle to practice again. So it's very important to recognize this now, and to kind of really cultivate courage rather than discouragement. And so that as Sakya Pandita has said, that those who train train when you can train, even if you have, you're going to die that day, practice as hard as you can, because even though it's of not that much benefit to you in that life, it's like putting away like a treasure, an investment for a future life. And so it's very important to recognize that you're creating the habits that you will have in the future lives now, and to be able to do so. And so we can see this, isn't it? It's played out all the time when we examine not just our own nature, but others as well, in terms of, say, something like study. Those who find studying quite easy, and others find it extremely difficult to concentrate and to apply themselves. This is all because of habits that have and have not been developed in previous lives. And so even in sort of a modern Western kind of education, you can see that some people have an affinity for science, and others for social studies, others for maths, and so on. And so this is again due to habituation. And so that this process of controlling our minds now will not just benefit us now, but even after death, when we into a future life, that this will become easier to kind of reconnect with and to develop again in the future. So let's leave it there for today.
Sani shoga shi donga chi bai na tri la kures donga la kures na sani shoga shi gi chi bai na number chi ya number sina sani shoga shi gi chi bai na ya ri kwada ri la kures se dire kya ba da chag ma de kya ba cha ya wa do yo ma ta ka sani shi do yo wa to ina ya ma hu ba na ka sa de kya ba cha ma de na so chu na chu sha ba na su le kres.
So again, there's that point from Sakya Pandita about that even if you're going to die the following morning, that night practice, because it even if you're not you don't become a master yet in future life, it will be as like a treasure for you. It is like an asset to you in future lives.
간투도 말아서 냠래라 간투도 배주 땅고도 냠래라 배주 땅 봐도 봐이나 나가서 시바이네 장가사야 소라지면도 그게 용면도 와 말아 간거겠다 내 기라도 라고 말다 모두 간거게 그 냠래라 자이티 아니 소주그 지금 사나 토나 토나 되나 지당 아니 지금 람림지 멜롱 소라지 차추도 추고도 차추가 지지.
So of course I'm saying this not just for you, but I'm saying this for myself as well, that we really have to work hard at integrating our practice into everything that we are doing, and that eating and drinking and whatever we're engaged in, to apply the mirror of the graduated path to see where do I fit, where does this action, this thought, these words, where do they fit on the Lam Rim, on the graduated path. It's very important to bring that sense of awareness and mindfulness to everything we do. And so to constantly be conscientious in really halting the tendency of our body, speech and mind's activities towards non-virtue, and to be quite definite about that, and then to conscientiously turn those activities towards a virtue. So of course, at the outset, this way of practicing is not easy, but with habituation, with again effort, perseverance, it will become easier and easier until we become quite a master at doing it. So you can actually you can understand this, especially you drivers, who at the outset, you didn't become expert drivers right from the beginning. It required care, required practice, required effort to be able to obey all the rules, to be able to park and so on. All of these skills were mastered through practice.
뭐저 잡자 맞아 뭐저 류가 예선도 답고 야고 맞잖아 디 야고 배주다나 디기 교적으로 로고 배주다나 동네 교착이 와 디 시고 계속 버려 와
So again, like to really understand, and if we have to be extremely careful with the way we use our body, speech, and mind. And that if we're not mindful, if we're careless, we will be creating the causes of suffering. If we are conscientious, we will be creating the causes for happiness.
상계다 저주서 사토벌한 내게 주 류가 예수도 배주 야고 당와연자 때도 되긴 해줘도 당가라서 코아바 되게들 하도도 녀수 녀들고 두가 녀 되게들 류가 예수 배주 로바 당와라 때는 다 동네 빠도 배워 녀 되고
So we can see this very played out very obviously when we see the status of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They were able to use their actions of body, speech, and mind to establish permanent happiness. Whereas for us, if we're really not careful, we will only establish the causes for lower realms, for more suffering for ourselves. Because rebirth in lower realms is because that person did not take care of their actions of body, speech, and mind. So the Lam Rim dedication prayer. From my 2 collections, vastest space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings. May I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path raised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
Gang
总嘎巴，罗桑扎贝沙拉索瓦的，美美在为的见证人心，最美根被王国将被扬，刚正根被足见总卡巴，罗桑扎贝沙拉索瓦的，美美在为的见证人心，最美根被王国将被扬，刚正根被足见总卡巴，罗桑扎贝沙拉索瓦的。You are our Lakshvara, great treasure of compassion, not in the true existence, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of all the demons without exception. Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of Landers North, Lord and Dragba, at your feet, and make your breasts.